Life is too short to read bad books. Like, God, I love these characters. It's so cute. I don't have a book. You don't see me out here with the book. It drives me absolutely crazy. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great today. Today's video is a fun one. At least I think it's a fun one. And if you like books and this is your jam, you're going to be right here with me. Today we're talking about all the books that I read in Q1. I'm going to go over the highs, the lows, there's a lot of lows, and kind of just run through them really quickly. And then I'll also share what I'm currently reading. So if any of that interests you, I hope you think about subscribing, commenting, liking, all that good stuff. Join the fam over here. It's always a good time. And with that, let's get in. Like I mentioned, this is all Q1, so January, February, and March. And gosh, what did I even read first? Okay, I'll just kind of go in the order that I read them. I get all my books, pretty much most of my hardcover books, from Book of the Month. I've mentioned many times before, it is what it sounds like, a book subscription. And the first one that I read was LUNAR Love by Lauren Kung Jensen. And what did I give this book? I gave this book a 3 out of 5, 3 stars out of 5. And I loved the premise. I love the premise. So the story is about this woman who's taking over her grandmother's Chinese matchmaking business. And she meets this guy and he is creating an app, like a dating app that's based on Chinese zodiac. And so they're kind of having this like comparison of whose method is better, and they're each going to try to find each other somebody. You can probably know how this ends. And the premise itself was great. I think I just felt it was so, I was kind of let down. Like, I really liked their meet cute, but I think it was just missing really that oomph that really makes you be like, oh my God, I love these characters. It's so cute and cheesy. And of course it was cute and cheesy, but I don't know. I think also the main character, Liv, was a little bit too much of a stickler on certain zodiac animals matching with others. So I think I'm rambling. I'm just giving it a 3 out of 5. Like, I liked it. Don't think I'd read it again. Might recommend. So the next one I read was The Riding Retreat, and it kind of matches my nails. Guys, I love a thriller. I like a thriller. I like a suspense. First half of this book had me, totally had me. So the story is this girl and like 4 other girls are chosen to go to a riding retreat by this renowned rider who's kind of eccentric and not really a recluse, but she's a little bit unhinged, but it's a thriller, so mayhem ensues. Once that part of the story was revealed, it kind of just went downhill. Like, once you understood who this person was and their motivations, it kind of just felt a little bit, all really makes sense. It didn't all come together for me. Like, it was a little bit too all over the place, and I didn't really like any of the characters. They were not relatable or that well liked, so that always makes it difficult for me to like a book. So I gave this one another 3 out of 5. Liked it, didn't love it, would not read again. It just didn't really land for me in the way that a lot of thrillers do. So 3 out of 5. Let's go over to my Kindle for what I read. Ali Hazelwood has 3 novellas, and I really liked her writing. She wrote Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, love those books. And so she has 3 novellas about 3 different friends and women in STEM, and it's all 3 different situations. And the first one that I read was Under One Roof. So this one is about this girl named Mara, and she moves into this house that her mentor, who passed away, like, gave her the house or rights to the house. I don't know. So she's living in this house, but then also her mentor's nephew is also living in this house. You can imagine how this goes. And it's a novella, so it was 112 pages, so super short read. I loved it. I thought the writing was so witty. Her character Mara was like sharp and just so funny. Like, there were so many points where I was just like smiling and laughing. And the guy Liam, I think, is really great too, and just really kind of suits her personality. So I really like that one. I'd probably give it a 4.5 out of 5. Like, if you are new to novellas and you just want to get started reading in general, I think the novellas are like a great way to get your feet wet. They're short, they're cute, they're quick, so definitely recommend that one. And so then I really liked that one, so I was like, okay, let me read these other 2, because it was like a 3-pack, so to speak, in this novella. The other one, Stuck With You. The main character in that one is Sadie, and it's like a little bit more workplace-y with this guy named Eric have one really amazing date, and then there is some kind of miscommunication, and then, as you can imagine, they don't like talk for a little bit. This one, guys, I thought was so boring, and also like the pacing of it did not make sense to me. Like in the beginning, they have this really great date. By the way, spoilers. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. There will be spoilers. I'll try not to spoil like the super, like for thrillers, I'm not going to spoil like the twists and stuff, but I'm just going to try to give the general information. So if this is a book that you're reading or want to read, skip over it. Skip over it. I don't want to say anything that's going to deter you. Like this could easily be resolved with a quick conversation. I hate stories like that where the characters are now no longer speaking or there's some kind of conflict, even though it could be solved with like one quick conversation. Like that drives me absolutely crazy. I'd give this like a, oh God, 2.5 seems bad. The other one was Below Zero, and this is a third friend named Hannah. A little bit better than Stuck With You, but not by much. So random, and I think in novellas, you gotta keep it simple. You gotta keep the storyline, the plot line simple. You can't throw too many things at it. Now that I'm talking about it, I think that's why I'm like, 2 and 3 kind of fell flat for me. So I'd give that maybe a 2.5. Okay. And then the other thing that I read on my Kindle was Beyond the Wand, The Magic and Mayhem of Being a Wizard, which is like is it a memoir? I guess the memoir of Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies. And like I mentioned previously, guys, my Harry Potter love is like reaching new heights right now. I don't know what's going on. I mentioned before, it kind of took me a while to like get into it. So I had to switch to the audiobook, and then that had me. It was so interesting to just listen to the stories of like what it was like behind the scenes, and every chapter I think is really interesting because it gives you some kind of like takeaway of what he learned. And this is literally from age 12 or 13 when he got casted to all the way up to now when he was like living in LA and doing things post Harry Potter. So if anything, even Harry Potter really interests you, or memoirs or anything like that, I think this is just like a really interesting one. Definitely listen to on an audiobook. The audiobook, because it's his voice, really paints the picture and kind of puts things into perspective, and just the way that things are said and the inflection of things I think really helped. I think there was just some really good perspective of who you are as a person. Should still be that person despite the crazy levels of fame that you might reach. I think I would give that probably a 5 out of 5. Honestly, guys, I really enjoyed it. Back to hardcover, back to our next thriller. This one, The Soulmate. Guys, this one I'm giving, I don't know, this quarter was this quarter was a tough one, guys. I don't think I've given this many books like 3 stars or 2.5. Like I want to give some of these 2.5. I'm gonna give it 2.5. I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. Again, the premise was there. So the story is about this couple. This is in Australia, they live near a cliff, and this cliff has become a popular place for people to unalive themselves, let's say. And the husband has always been able to like go out there. If they see somebody like from their window, he goes out there and just like talks to them, and he's been able to pretty much talk people down literally off the edge. And in this story, a woman shows up, and it's kind of the same routine, but she ends up jumping or falling, or was she pushed? Like that's the whole story, because it comes out, and this is not a spoiler because it's like in the jacket in the description, that the husband knew the woman that jumped or fell or was pushed, so it kind of is that story. Again, the premise, riveting, totally had me. And then it fell flat, That kind of doubting reality, that's what I really like in a thriller, and this was just not it. So 2.5. Okay, that's the 7 books that I read. There's one DNF that I just did not finish, The Paris Hours by Alex George. And this is everything that you think I would like. Historical fiction, 1920s France. It follows 4 different characters going about 1927 Paris. And I started reading like the first couple pages, and I was so bored. And so I have the audiobook rented through Libby that I'm gonna try to listen to and see if this becomes a finish. But life is too short to read bad books. Like there's so many good books out there that I don't want to waste my time. No offense. I feel bad saying that. I don't want to waste my time on something that's not grabbing me. So we'll see. We'll see if this becomes a finish, but currently it's not. I am reading 2 other books right now. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. That one is a thriller that I've heard good things about. I don't think I've ever read any of her books before, so hopefully I'm happy about that one. And then the other one I am reading is Anna Maria and the Fox. And this one is historical fiction. See, most of my book themes are like romance or thrillers. And I really do like historical fiction and just history in general. So I'm trying to, weave that in a little bit. But isn't this cover so beautiful? I mean, look at this. The cover had me. I do judge a book by its cover, I do. That is my Q1 book recap. I hope this was interesting for you guys. And if you're reading any of these books, I'm curious to see what you guys think. Drop me any book recommendations down below. I'm always looking for a new book recommendation, even though I have about 500 books, not really, 500 books on my TBR list. I'm always looking for more. I'm always looking for more. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you think about subscribing, leaving me a comment, liking, all that good stuff. And with that, guys, I'll see you in the next one.